Morning America new this morning, turn them off. The urgent warning from the Consumer Product Safety Commission about Samsung's troubled Note 7 smartphone. The fire risk, fears they could burst into flames, and don't even think about using them on an airplane.
War of words, the candidates launching new attacks.
She could walk into this arena right now and shoot somebody with 20,000 people watching.
And this from Hillary Clinton.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
The reaction to the candidates' comments this morning.
Dramatic rescue, the race against time. Officers pulling a woman and 2 infants out of this burning car.
I started hearing citizens yelling, "There's kids in the car, there's kids in the car."
The emergency workers speaking out this morning.
And the battle at Bristol, the famous motor speedway, transformed into a massive college football stadium ready to host a record crowd. It's Tennessee versus Virginia Tech. We're live at the track for a great gridiron pit stop.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And good Saturday morning, everyone. We want to thank you for joining us this weekend. And there is our own Rob Marciano. Hey, Rob, surrounded by fans at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. They are expecting the largest college football crowd ever. And can I say maybe a record in beer consumption? They have purchased over 500,000, 500,000 beers for this particular game.
500,000 beers?
Yes, 500,000 beers. But
I'm not sure that should be legal.
well, you know, it's Tennessee, everybody. But the raceway is going to be transformed into a football field as Tennessee takes on Virginia Tech. It's going to be an epic game in more ways than one, as we just mentioned.
And we can guarantee that Rob Marciano will consume 0 of those beers
He's
during
on the
course
clock
of this day. Much more to come from Bristol, but we're going to start here with the danger and really deep inconvenience facing hundreds of thousands of people who own cell phones owned and made by Samsung.
Specifically, the Galaxy Note 7 phone. The federal government is now saying that if you own one of these phones, you should turn it off immediately and trade it in because it can burst into flames.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, this is an especially precarious situation if your battery catches fire while you're on a plane, as this simulation video from the FAA demonstrates quite vividly. So ABC's Gloria Riviera has more now from Reagan National Airport in D.C. Hey, Gloria, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. That's exactly right. Our own ABC aviation expert calling this potentially a worst-case devastating scenario if one of these devices were to blow up on an airplane. And reports are there could be as many as 2.5 million of these devices already out there. They all need to come back in this massive global recall.
This morning, technology giant Samsung planning a massive recall. This after an unprecedented warning from the federal government urging customers to power down their Galaxy Note 7s and exchange them now. This is the latest in what has been a nightmare week for the world's largest smartphone manufacturer. Earlier this week, this Jeep engulfed in flames, reportedly sparked by a charging phone.
It was very surprising to me how quick the dash caught on fire.
The CPSC urging anyone who currently owns one of the devices to power them down and stop charging or using the device. That alert going even further than the FAA's statement asking any Note 7 users to keep their phones completely powered off during flight. Lithium-ion cells are a massive concern for aviation officials due to potential explosion and fire like these tests.
I don't think there's ever been a product like this. I mean, lithium-ion batteries power our lives. And as the technology keeps going, sometimes you get manufacturers that just aren't up to speed.
Samsung says it has confirmed 35 cases so far of its batteries failing, leading to burned phones and flames.
So this is a pretty big blow to Samsung. Consumers, if they have these phones, they should just stop using them.
And consumers say there is more headache here and inconvenience while Samsung is promising to replace the devices. Customers say that process has been difficult, far from straightforward. That makes life difficult for so many who say they just can't get through the day for work, taking care of family without their phone. Dan?
Yeah, massive inconvenience. Gloria, thank you. We're going to switch now to the presidential race, though, and a new comment from Hillary Clinton overnight that is getting a lot of attention, maybe not the kind of attention she wants. Speaking to wealthy donors at a fundraiser featuring Barbra Streisand in California, Clinton flat out called many of Trump's supporters racist. Trump, meanwhile, is defending his repeated praise of Russian President Vladimir Putin. And ABC's Devin Dwyer is covering it all from Washington, D.C. Hey, Devin.
Hey, good morning, Dan. You know, the rhetoric from both candidates now getting more extreme. Donald Trump saying overnight Hillary Clinton could murder someone in broad daylight and get away with it, while Clinton calling half of Trump's supporters deplorables. Overnight at a New York fundraiser, Hillary Clinton lashing out at Trump's supporters.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
The Trump campaign calling the comment deplorable as Trump in Florida defended his controversial affection for Russia's Vladimir Putin.
Oh, Donald Trump likes Putin, and Putin likes Trump. Honestly, I don't know the gentleman, but you know what? He's been nice to me. The difference between me and my opponent on Vladimir Putin and in all negotiations is that I negotiate by creating leverage.
But scrutiny of Trump's embrace of the authoritarian regime is getting more intense. After first praising Putin this week,
he is really very much of a leader, far more than our president has been a leader.
Trump then defending Russia against explosive allegations its hackers broke into DNC computers.
It's probably unlikely. I think maybe the Democrats are putting that out.
Trump яркий человек.
That interview airing on state-run Russian TV, contradicting top U.S. intelligence officials who say Russian involvement in the hack is all but certain. After meeting for nearly 2 hours with national security experts, Hillary Clinton appeared flabbergasted.
Every day that goes by, this just becomes more and more of a reality television show. It's not a serious presidential campaign.
Now, the Clinton campaign this morning trying to clarify that deplorables comment, saying clearly not everyone supporting Trump is hateful, but a spokesman tweeting that they, quote, appear to make up half his crowd when you observe the tone of his events. Dan and Paula?
All right, Devin Dwyer, we want to thank you. And joining us now from Austin, Texas is ABC News political analyst Matthew Dowd. Matthew, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. So, you know, not long ago, Hillary Clinton said this. She said, the last thing we need is a president who brings more name-calling to D.C. And yet yesterday, she calls half of Trump supporters in a basket of deplorables. Do you think this is going to haunt her?
Well, first I have to say, when I first heard basket of deplorables, it reminded me something you'd hear in the Despicable Me movie. when Gru can't find his minions, he calls Dr. Nefario and says, get me the basket of deplorables. I think in the book of bad campaign ideas, there's a chapter on attacking voters at a fundraiser. We've seen this with, Barack Obama did this in 2008 when he said they cling to their guns. We saw this, Mitt Romney talked about the 47%. It's never a good idea to go after voters, even if you believe a segment of voters is that way in this. I think this will be a bad few days for her. It will ultimately pass over, but the campaign, I know, doesn't want their candidate going after voters.
Okay, so let's talk, though, about Donald Trump's repeated praise of Vladimir Putin. This is where the Clinton campaign really wants us to be focused right now, notwithstanding the basket of deplorables. That said, though, for the standard bearer of the party of Reagan to be praising a Russian autocrat because he's nice to him, how big a deal is that? And is it going to matter in the end with swing voters?
Well, Dan, amazing situation. We've had so many firsts in this campaign. But actually going on Russian television and praising an autocratic dictator of the country and criticizing the President of the United States is something we haven't seen. You remember Jane Fonda attacked the United States in northern Vietnam and was not heard of for 10 years, in 15 years of that. I think it's problematic, but in the end, I don't think Donald Trump's voters really care. They're probably shrug their shoulders and say, it's great that Putin likes Trump and Trump likes Putin. Move on. I think ultimately this will have to be answered, both of these things. The basket of deplorables and this will have to be answered in that first debate.
Well, Matt Dowd, you are anything but deplorable. We love you. Thanks for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you. That's good. That's a high bar.
Thanks, Matt. We want to move now to the new concerns about Zika here in the U.S. Miami Beach is spraying for mosquitoes this weekend as the number of pregnant women infected with the virus rises. And the CDC now saying that the money to fight Zika is all but gone. ABC's Eva Pilgrim joins us in studio with the very latest. Eva, good morning.
Good morning, Paula. Concerns and questions this morning about the safety safety of an insecticide now being used to fight Zika in Miami Beach. Initially, those in charge said aerial spraying wouldn't be effective in Miami Beach because of the wind and tall buildings. But now, as more infected mosquitoes are found, the CDC and state recommending it.
It's a full-on aerial assault, the battle to wipe out Zika in Miami Beach ramping up. But it's what's being used to kill the mosquitoes that could be carrying the virus that this morning has residents upset.
It could be extremely effective in killing not only the mosquitoes, the intended target, but then the whole ecosystem there.
Residents taking to the streets with signs.
We don't want no spray.
Protesting the newest weapon in the fight against Zika in Miami Beach, aerial spraying. This as there are 56 non-travel related cases in South Florida. 84 pregnant women have been infected with the Zika virus, and now the city finding a fourth mosquito pool testing positive for infected mosquitoes.
We're concerned that now that it actually has more of a potential risk of creating the problems that we're trying to avert.
Naled is designed to attack mosquitoes in flight, killing them on contact. While U.S. health officials say it's safe, Naled has been banned in Europe since 2012. Health officials here in the U.S. say Naled is only toxic in high doses, pointing out that an ultra-low dose is being used in the aerial sprayings, but that is not easing the minds of thousands of concerned residents who want to know more about what's being sprayed over them and their loved ones.
I just want to know more about side effects of those chemicals.
The spraying comes as the head of the CDC warns that they are essentially out of money in the fight against the virus. This as Congress looks to end the gridlock over a Zika funding bill that may get another vote next week.
For now, the aerial sprayings continue. The next one scheduled to happen early tomorrow morning.
I can see why people are worried about that. Eva, thank you. We're going to turn now to a big twist this morning in a case made famous by the Netflix docuseries Making a Murderer. The Attorney General in Wisconsin is now appealing a judge's decision to throw out Brendan Dassey's murder conviction. Dassey was one of two men convicted of killing 25-year-old Teresa Halbach. He was 16 at the time, and his lawyers argue his confession was coerced. ABC's Adrian Bankert has more. Hey, Adrian, good morning.
You know what, Dan? Of course, you're very familiar with this story. Now attorneys fighting to prove whether Dassey was involved at all. This morning, a new twist in the case made popular by Netflix's Making a Murderer. Brendan Dassey's chance of getting out of prison jeopardized. Wisconsin Attorney General Brad Schimmel filing an appeal Friday in federal court, challenging a state judge's ruling which overturned Dassey's conviction and prison sentence, finding that the 26-year-old's confession was coerced.
Be honest. You went inside, didn't you? Yeah. You went in the trailer?
Mm-hmm. Dassey was found guilty for helping his uncle, Stephen Avery, kill Teresa Halbach when he was just 16 years old. Dassey making this emotional plea in a letter he read as part of the Netflix documentary.
I am innocent of the rape and murder of Teresa Halbach. Please help me if you can. Sincerely, Brendan Dassey.
But now Dassey's lawyer, Laura Nyrider, saying in a statement, "We are disappointed in the state's decision to prolong Brendan's case by seeking an appeal. We look forward to continuing to defend his rights in court." And fans, of course, of the show watching it all, prosecutors have 90 days now to either schedule a new trial or release Dassey from prison.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Complicated.
It is super complicated. They're working on a second season of that show right now. I've spent some time with Laura Nyrider, his attorney, and also with an expert in confessions, and they really firmly believe that that confession was forced, and that is going to continue to be a huge issue in this case. Thank you, Adrian. A lot of other news this morning, though, and for that, as always, we kick it over to Dr. Ron Claiborne. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning to you, Dan
morning,
and Paula.
Ronnie.
Sarah Haynes, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. We begin with Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry announcing that the U.S. and Russia have agreed to a ceasefire that he says could be a turning point in the 5-year-old civil war in Syria. The proposed ceasefire, which would include Syrian forces that have been fighting anti-government rebels, would begin at sundown on Monday. If the ceasefire holds, the U.S. and Russia would jointly target extremists inside of Syria. And in Washington, despite a veto threat from President Obama, Congress has passed a bill authorizing families of 9/11 victims to sue Saudi Arabia. Lawmakers on Friday paying tribute to those victims on the steps of Capitol Hill before unanimously passing the bipartisan measure. 15 of the 9/11 hijackers were Saudi nationals. And back here in the U.S., 4 confirmed tornadoes touching down in eastern Illinois Friday night. The tornadoes tearing through homes and destroying several buildings, people huddling together in the debris in the aftermath. In Kansas, meanwhile, very heavy rain from slow-moving thunderstorms triggered more flash flooding. And the man who shot President Reagan, Ronald Reagan, is due to leave the Washington, D.C. mental hospital where he spent the past 35 years since that assassination attempt. John Hinckley, now 61 years of age, will live with his mother in Williamsburg, Virginia. In July, a federal judge ruled that Hinckley is no longer a danger to himself or the public. And take a look at this. It's an SUV you see dangling out of the side of the garage in Austin, Texas. The vehicle somehow going off the top level of that building, suspended 6 stories above the ground by high-tension wires. The driver was able to get out safely. And a big night in Springfield, Massachusetts. The Basketball Hall of Fame enshrining the class of 2016 NBA greats Allen Iverson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Yao Ming among the inductees. Iverson fighting back tears as he thanked Georgetown University coach John Thompson for putting him on the right track, and he said saving his life. And finally, it's a couch potato's dream come true. Imagine this, a burrito delivering drone. True story. Google teaming up with the Chipotle food chain to test the new drone.
This is incredible.
On the campus of Virginia Tech, who's playing Tennessee today, by the way. Rob there. They say part of the test is to see how the burrito's packaging holds up with the drop. This is the most extensive
Wait a second.
test of drone
Have
deliveries
yet.
yet.
Had a Chipotle burrito? Because it's impossible
It's
to keep
huge.
them
It's a brick.
together.
Yeah,
So
well,
imagine if it drops.
Yeah, but if you drop it in a good enough package, everything should be fine. I would be
Virginia
a customer.
Tech, they're going to find out.
I love that
moving down there.
I love that they're worried about the packaging, not did the burrito survive the fall.
Exactly. You
It's
know
all
what?
part of the same thing.
It still tastes the same, right?
Yes, that's right.
All right.
right.
Speaking of burritos, I'm sure all the college
Thank
kids
you, Rob.
want this, right? So let's send things to Rob Marciano, who's at the Bristol Motor Speedway. A record crowd of 150,000 expected, not for a NASCAR race, but for a college football game. Rob, you look like you're in your element.
At Virginia Tech, and they want some. It's the Hokies versus the Vols. But today is not just about football. We are going to make history. Just when you thought this season couldn't get any crazier, today we're going to have the largest audience in college football history, where they normally run NASCAR. On that track, the last great Coliseum, the Bull Ring, Thunder Rally. In 19 days, they transformed that puppy from a NASCAR track into a football stadium. They brought in 450 truckloads of dirt and debris, had to raise the ground 3.5 feet, transform some of the buildings into locker rooms, and they're going to do that tonight on ABC. All right, will weather affected? There may be some storms coming through Thunder Alley, but I don't think till late in the day. These are where the severe storms are going to fire today across the Tennessee Valley, just north of here, into the Ohio Valley. Cleveland and Buffalo, upstate New York is where you'll see most of the action. And ahead of that, another day of extreme heat. Not quite as hot as it was yesterday, but we have heat advisories in effect for Philadelphia and Baltimore as well. 98 degrees in Philadelphia, but there's that cool front. That's going to come through tomorrow and cool things off by 15, 20 degrees. It's going to feel a little bit more like fall, which is when we play football. Second weekend of college football. We're here in Bristol, baby. Here now is your local forecast.
Good morning and thanks for joining me. We are watching our temperatures get back into the 90s by this afternoon. Right now already at 77 in D.C., 70 in Manassas, and Leesburg also waking up in the lower 70s. Now, as we head throughout today, daytime high in the mid-90s. It's another hot and humid afternoon, but if we can hang in there, we will be watching some pleasant weather return as we head into Sunday and also Monday. It'll start to feel a little bit more closer to average for this time of year.
The Vols want redemption after a big loss last week. They're hoping to get it here. Dan, I'll call it back over to you.
He's having way too much fun.
He is. I'm super jealous. And he's got the chance of a burrito drop. I mean, it's
I'm so impressed he was able to backpedal, like walking and talking. Rob's the man. We're going to check with him a little bit later. Everybody, a reminder, the big game from the Bristol Motor Speedway featuring Virginia Tech and number 17 Tennessee. It happens tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. What time is that in Guam?
It's tomorrow in Guam.
Okay.
I think about noon.
It's also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Sarah, save us.
Well, we've got something else everyone's watching. All eyes are on Atlantic City this weekend for the Miss America competition, and reigning Miss America Betty Cantrell is taking us behind the scenes as she gets ready to hand off her crown.
I'm from the state
for Girls Rule. The Miss America pageant is here.